Hello, back again to do another unboxing and review. This time around we're going to look at a gaming keyboard from a company called SteelSeries. This is the Apex 100 and it's labeled as an illuminated gaming keyboard. Alright, so SteelSeries. Actually, I've never heard of them before. I purchased this while I was originally intending to buy a Razer keyboard. And so now one of the things that made me decide to pick this up we're going to get into right now. And that's the fact that you're looking at this and you're probably thinking, oh yeah, mechanical keyboard. And I thought the exact same thing. And then I saw this here, it says SteelSeries quick tension switches. Again, thinking mechanical switches. Gaming keyboard makes sense. But then if you look around here on the back, they actually kind of give you a little more detail about what they consider quick tension switches. And they have written here, built to mimic a mechanical switch's operation. When the key is pressed halfway down, the tension design shoots the key the rest of the way into actuation. The result is faster key registration that greatly impacts reaction times in-game. So it's not a mechanical keyboard, but rather a membrane keyboard with the switches that have little springs on the back that are pre-tensioned. Okay, so I thought, interesting enough, I gotta try it out. So, alright, now that aside, let's look at some of the other features they're advertising here. It has SteelSeries Engine 3, which evidently allows you to remap every key and create profiles and all that good stuff. It has 24 key anti-ghosting. This keyboard offers advanced anti-ghosting support up to 24 of the most commonly used keys in gaming. So, help let you be a little more accurate. Okay. Now, I was going to tell you about impressions. Let's take this time to look around the box, right? The first thing I noticed when I picked this up is, whoa, this is a heavy keyboard. I weighed this as it is here, as you see it in the box and everything. This weighs 2.8 pounds, so you're almost at 3 pounds. And when you compare that with your regular run-of-the-mill basic keyboard, it does feel heavy. Okay, so on the back, just a nice picture of the product, and I do like the illumination color, well, at least from what I can tell by the box, it's kind of blue. Alright, and as far as maybe some looking into what SteelSeries is, I noticed here on the bottom it says that designed by SteelSeries in Denmark, and of course it's made in China. So, alright, and then on the side here, they're kind of touting this whole esports thing with, I guess, some teams that are, I guess, supporting or sponsored by this or whatever. So, okay, and up here you see it works with Windows or Mac. And anything else to look at? Okay, some other stuff here. It has the we are talking about tension switch, 20 million clicks, 24 key anti-ghosting, and blue LED ground lighting. So I guess blue is the only color, which is fine for me because that was probably the only color I was going to be using anyway. Alright, it looks like about everything. Yeah, so without further ado, let's open it up. It's sealed with the normal little circle stickers, and also there's 2 stickers on either side here, so it's pretty good. Okay. So there it is, and let's go pull it out. Okay, so the only other thing in here is this, I would assume, little instruction manual. So, and of course the keyboard itself, and inside the box, okay, nothing else. So the first thing is, with nothing else in the box, that 2.8 pounds is attributed to the keyboard itself. So yes, it's a hefty keyboard, at least if you're used to the normal $15 ones, you know. Okay, so it comes in this nice plastic bag. The cord even has a little, what do you call it, Velcro closure wrap thing to rewrap the cord when you're done. And the USB is covered with a little cap. Nice touch. All right, and there's the logo. I don't know if it's coming up there on the USB. Which actually, you know what? People kind of say, well, what's the big deal? But this really helps if you're in the back of your tower because you immediately know when you pull this out what device you're unplugging. So I actually like those. Okay, now let's look. I'm gonna actually take it out of its little jacket here. Okay. Wow. All right. So it kind of I don't know, this stuff up here. I don't know if you can see it, but that styling. You see those like shiny little diagonal lines. They kind of remind me of like carbon fiber. Of course they're not, but it gives it that kind of look. Okay, on the back. All right, this here is, although the color would make it look steel, get it, SteelSeries, but it's just plastic here on the back, this grayish material here. And you have the little riser legs, and are they two-step or is one? Yeah, they're just one, so you only have one height level, or two height levels, no legs and with legs extended. They do click in pretty nicely, so I'll give it that. And you do have up here the little rubber feet to hopefully avoid it sliding around. And okay, some information there in the middle. And it looks like there's a little reinforcement where the cable or the wire connects to the keyboard. Okay, but let's go around to the front. And you do have your number pad for 10 key. I actually like keyboards that have this because if you do actually want to use it for like work, Excel, it's good to have this. You don't have to put in a special attachment later. And yeah, actually I like it. It's has this kind of glossy black look to it. Now, but of course the big thing again is this pre-tensioned key deal. So what I'm going to do for the first time is I'm going to actually push one of these. We'll start with the letter A because of course, why not, right? Okay. All right. Okay. First of all, what I was expecting is when I pushed it, I would expect like the key would like jump away from me, or should I say, jump down into the keyboard. But that's not exactly what happens. Instead, when you push it, it's kind of like your finger falls into the key. Okay, you know those traps they use like in the cartoons where they dig a hole and they put some like leaves over it and then you step on the leaves and then you fall into the hole? That's kind of what this is like. There's like a little resistance at the beginning and then the key just kind of falls away. So now of course for noise, I would say it's a little more noisy than a regular membrane keyboard, but of course it's nowhere near Blue Keys or anything like that, the mechanical one. You don't get that click, 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 click. Instead of it's a, yeah, so I'd say somewhere in between. And okay, so far I'm liking it, and of course I'm going to go ahead and try it out. So I just plugged the keyboard into my computer, and yeah, it came to life right away and it's shining, as you can see. I haven't adjusted the brightness, so this is like I guess the default brightness level, but it's plenty bright enough, and from an angle you can see, so it's not too distracting unless you're looking straight down. So kind of a somewhat angle. That's actually kind of cool. Yeah, so far so good. Alright, so I went ahead and installed the software that complements my new hardware here, and I did that by following the instruction manual's two-step process. I kid you not, they don't even have writing, it's just pictures. The first picture shows you plugging the keyboard into a computer, and the second one has an internet address. So, okay, pretty simple, right? So when you go to the internet address, you'll go to the SteelSeries official page, and then from there, you go up in the upper left, there's a tab for software. Click that, you download this what they call it, SteelSeries engine. And then once you do that, you go back and you'll see like a device list, and then it detected that I had this keyboard connected. Okay, so as you can see here, we have a graphical representation of the keyboard on the screen, and as you see, I mouse over different keys and it highlights the corresponding key over here on this list over here, and then you can do different key mappings and all that. Okay, but more interesting to play with over here is the lighting control. So I'm going to go ahead and point the camera at the keyboard, and meanwhile I'll change the different light settings so you get an idea. Alright, so let me get my hand out of the shot there. Okay, so right now, as you can tell, I have the lights off. So I'll go click the low setting. Here's medium. And here is bright. And on top of that, let me go back to, let's do low setting right now. On top of that, there's also an option for steady or breathe. Steady is what you see now, and you can also do this breathe light. So it should slowly pulse. Yeah, pretty cool, huh? And alright, so yeah, so I haven't even actually did anything except bring this up. I did do like a test type. I just pulled up a Word document and I just start typing random things, and so far so good. I'm liking it. But of course the true test, since it is a gaming keyboard, is after I play some games with it, and I'll let you know how that goes. Alright, so on the table here I have two keyboards. The Apex 100 at the top, the one that's glowing blue, and then down here what I've been using up to now, which is the Logitech K120. Now the K120 fits in that budget keyboard segment. I believe this thing costs under 20 bucks, but that is not to say this is a bad keyboard. In fact, I've been using it for work, gaming, and everything in between, and I've had zero issues with it. So good job, K120. But we're not here to talk about the K120. We're here to talk about this guy, this quote-quote gaming keyboard up here, the Apex 100. So how does it compare? Well, I can see how this would aid in typing accuracy or gameplay accuracy. The reason why is because the keys stand so much taller. If you look, you can see here that the keys have some height to them compared to these over here, which they are just flatter. Now, why that helps is let's take the WASD for example, and especially if you're playing games, WASD are kind of popular keys. So when you push down the D, look at the S. You see how big of a sidewall it has? Well, because this key's down and this key's tall, so the combined thing is you get a really big sidewall on the adjacent keys. Of course, not only the S, but the F and the ones above and below. Okay, so if I were to try to slide from the D to the S without lifting my finger, you run into that sidewall, and if I push hard enough, you see I can finally overpower it and the adjacent key drops. However, over here on this keyboard, to do the same thing, it's like no effort. Just slide, 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 slide. Because, again, you can see that sidewall isn't as high as compared to the one over there with the same conditions. So I guess this would help eliminate key mushing, if you get what I mean by that. So, okay, now let's get away from so much of the gaming element. Let's just go to, let's say you're using this for things other than gaming, like maybe work. So what I'll do is I'll take off the lights here. Boom. Now if we leave this on the table, right, and your coworker or somebody that's over at your place working on a project for work or whatever, you name the scenario, if this keyboard is what they come up to, they're going to be like, oh, okay, type, 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 type. And they might not even notice that it's anything other than just a regular keyboard. Now, they might know, oh, these keys feel really nice or whatever, but again, it isn't going to be so much of a change for something like this. And on top of that, since this is not a mechanical keyboard with the blue switches or some of the other loud switches, you can use this and you're not going to have all the click, 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 which I've heard some offices have even banned those keyboards because they're so distracting. So this might be your does everything keyboard. You know, you go from work, and then when you want to do your games, boom, turn on the lights, and yeah. So I think this is actually a pretty good keyboard because it kind of has that dual personality, and you don't have to have two, one for work, one again for play. So yeah, and let's talk about the price point. For what this cost, it's actually a better deal, I believe, than getting something like this, because although this is like less than half of what this cost, this, you have so many more features, and yes, not just the lights, but other features as well, as we talked about earlier, the anti-ghosting, the key mapping, and etc., etc. So would I recommend it? Yeah, for the price, I think it's a good step up, and it's not too many more dollars, so why not?